In this lecture, we're going to explore what methods are and how they can be combined with a very convenient property in Android programming called OnClick. So, if you watched the previous lectures, you know that a method is a verb. It's something that we can do. And that goes along with a class, which is a noun, and attribute, which are things that a method operates on. So the difference between a method and a call to a method tend to be confusing in introductory programming. So let's talk about each. Let's start with the concept of what a method is. A method has a signature, which is an access modifier, a return type, method name, and parameters. So here we see an access modifier of public. If you're new to programming, we'll just consider public to be a pretty safe bet for any method. There are other access modifiers there's one called protected, one called private, and one that's called default or package protected or friendly, depending on when you learn what it is. So we'll just stick with public for the moment. We see int means that this method is going to do some work. And when it's finished doing some work, it's going to return some integer data. So integer data indicates some whole number data. In other words, data without a fraction. Next, we see the method name is add. Method should be a verb and should be fairly descriptive of what it's doing. So here we see add, we're taking two operands. It would make sense that add would take both of these operands, add them together, and then return the result. So if it were 3 and 2, 3 plus 2, it would return 5. Okay, so what is a method? A method has a signature that makes it unique. For example, if you call my phone number, it will dial my phone and only my phone. Won't dial anyone else's phone because the phone number is what makes my phone unique. The phone number is the unique identifier for my phone. Okay? Just like a method signature is a unique identifier for a method, phone number is what makes my phone unique. Okay? So that signature is a fingerprint, it's a phone number. On the other hand, we can also call a method, okay? So we can have one method that does some work and then calls another method. And this indeed is very common in programming. We can have events call methods, things like a button click. A button click can call a method, okay? So these are very important. Now, let's say that you call me from your phone. You have my phone number in your directory and you click the little, receiver button and you call me, okay? So that means you're calling me. Now, just because you have my phone number in your contacts directory, does that mean that my phone is your phone? No, not at all. It means you can call my phone from your phone. So your phone still has its own unique identifier, but you can call my phone from your phone. Okay, and that's what a method call is. It's a way of calling another verb and asking it to do some work and then doing something with the return value from that. Okay, in introductory programming, this concept can be a bit challenging to understand. Don't know why, just a lot of people tend to get stuck on this. And in traditional Android programming, we've had to do something very tricky to get this all to work. We've had to do what's called an anonymous interclass, which is tricky if you've never seen programming before. It can be very, very confusing. Luckily, though, there is a better alternative for us. Our goal in this class is to get an Android program up, ready, and running as quickly as possible with as short a learning curve as possible. So what we can do is when we make a button, we can have an OnClick property set. And we can set this directly from the layout. In the OnClick property, all we need to specify is the method name of the method that we want to call. Okay, again, like calling a phone number, we're providing it with the method name. Now, what we're going to require in our action class is we're going to require a method signature that looks exactly like this. Public void, method name, view v, open curly, close curly, and then inside those curlies we can do whatever we want. So that's what we want to do with our button click. So I'm going to go on now to, I've uploaded to Blackboard, by the way, the source code from our project. It will look a little bit different here because I've set it, I mean, it will look a little different from our last recording because I switched emulators and I'm now in a version 18 operating system emulator, which is the absolute latest. Right now, if I click Save Location, nothing's going to happen. It's just going to click. Nothing's going to happen. So let's try to actually wire this button up. Okay, I'm going to open Eclipse, and by the way, I'm trying a different resolution. I'm trying different things to see if I can, when these upload to YouTube, if I can get them to have a little bit better resolution because I know it's been a bit grainy. But in any case, where we left off last time, we have a very simple location finder activity. This is a class, it's like a noun. This class has some attributes defined, which are the text fields and also the buttons. This is what we did in our previous lecture. Okay, so we have access to our btn save specimen here. Okay, and now if we scroll down, we see a method called save. And this is the method that we wish to invoke when the save button is clicked. This is the method that we wish to invoke. So what I'm going to do, let me scroll over, and I'm going to set a breakpoint on line 39 so that our debugger will attach there when we debug this. Okay, so we see we have a save method. Okay, and we see that it's simply pulling data out of our user interface elements. Okay, and then we see it's posting a little message that says specimen saved. Okay, so I need to make a method that will be invoked when the save button is pressed. I go back and I remember that method must have the signature public void and then whatever method name we choose to give it, and then pass in a view v. Okay, I can make it any method name I want. I just have to use the signature public void. Let's say save, but let's say on save clicked. Doesn't matter, whatever name we want it. I'm going to copy that right now because I'm going to need to use that later. Open paren view v. Okay. So this is a method. This is the onSaved click method. And now I'm simply going to have this go down and call save. Okay. So I am in method and I'm using that method to call another. So I will go ahead and snap a breakpoint here as well, and then this will be off screen, but I'm saving that. Okay, till I want to disconnect from the debugger, that's fine. Now I'm going to go back to my location XML, okay, and I have save location button. I'm going to right click, and sorry, this is off screen just a little bit, but I'm going to other properties, all by name, and there are quite a few here. So I'm going to scroll down until I find OnClick. It's going to take a bit of scrolling, but needless to say, I'm seeing the M's come up and the N's, and I see OnClick. Okay, so here is OnClick. And now all I need to do is pass in the method that should be invoked when the user clicks this button. So Control V, I paste. Remember, I copied that into the clipboard before. I paste, and now I choose OK. Next, I'm going to save this location XML. And at that point, I'm pretty happy. So at this point, I'm going to take Eclipse and I'm going to, let's see, I'm in debug mode now. Or I'm sorry, I'm in Java mode now. Go back so I can see Package Explorer. I'm going to right click. I'm going to choose Debug As. Android application. Again, I know this is falling a little bit off the screen. I'm doing my best to see if I can get some better resolution when I put this on YouTube. So this is a short video that will test out my theory. Okay, so right click, I'm telling it to debug, and what's going to happen is it's going to come up here on my emulator as soon as it's ready to debug. Okay, that one didn't take too long. That's not bad. Sometimes it takes a long time to bring up something to emulate. In this case, didn't take too long at all. So, okay, I'm currently debugging. Let's see, I'm going to put in a description of, just so I can test something out, I'll maybe type in foo. And now I'm going to hit save. Okay. Okay, when I hit save, and you can't see this on the recording, but all of a sudden on my start bar, the Eclipse icon lights up in orange to tell me that it's debugging. Now, debugging is one of our best friends in programming because debugging will allow us to watch a method work one step at a time. Here in Eclipse, right now I'm on the onSaved click method, and just as I promised, when we click that button, this method will be clicked, and we can put in here whatever instructions we want to have happen when that button is clicked. Now you see it's going down and it's invoking the save method. It's making a call to the save method. Let's see what happens when it calls this save method. If I am on a method call, I can press F5 and it will step me into that method call. So you see right now I'm on line 36. That's the line that's in green. I'm going to choose F5, which is actually going to walk me into that save method. So I choose F5 and watch what happens to the green line. Okay, now we are inside the save method. So do you see how one method, the method called onSaveClicked, is able to call another method? Okay, one method is able to call another method. And now I'm going to choose F6. Sometimes I have to refocus. Okay, I choose F6. It got latitude and longitude, which are not currently populated. And then finally, it's going to get description. If I mouse over description, take a look at what comes up. The word foo that I entered previously on the screen. Okay, so you see the debugger allows us to watch a program execute one line at a time. If you're learning programming, it's very important that you learn the debugger. And trust me, the first 2 times you try to use it, you'll get really frustrated and give up. You have to. That's just part of the rule. When you learn the debugger, it takes a couple times to get frustrated and give up. But the third time, then you get the hang of it. If you want to not spend a whole lot of work on homework in this class, your best bet is to learn the debugger early. Okay? Now, what it's going to do is it's going to call toast.makeText, which is going to put a little message up on our screen. So this will be a little bit tricky. I'm going to need to pull Eclipse off the main focus and bring back our Android app. What you should see when I hit F8 or when I hit play, let me show you that play button is this button right here. It's going to say, okay, thank you, debugger. I'm all finished. Please let the program continue to run. So I hit play and take a look. Specimen saved foo. That pop-up message appeared. That's what's called a toast in Android programming because it will pop up and dismiss without any user interaction. Keep in mind, think about the times that you use your phone. Keep in mind that you're typically using your phone when you're multitasking. I'll leave that definition of multitasking up to you because seriously, think about the last time you used your phone, what else you were doing at the same time. So the phone really, we want to tap it as few times as necessary. So that's why a toast will appear and then disappear because that's less interaction that we have to worry about. So when this resolution, let me scroll down a little bit, you can see we're on the same app we've been on the whole time. That was just showing up at the bottom of the screen. So that's the quick and dirty. That's a method, and that's an easy way to call a method from a button. If you want to put together an Android app in a fairly quick, like a rapid application development style, that's one recommendation I would make, is to make good use of the OnClick method. And that's all we have for this lesson. Thank you.